just say something so we can do like an audio test.
Hello. Good?
Audio good? Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Hi guys, it's Minolta here, and today is all about moth. So that's our theme for the day. So my name is Minolta Butler. I am a human artist, and I am locally and globally known as the Coffee Lady. And I'm excited to share with you our session for today. So today we will be painting butterflies. And you should already have your materials together, but if you don't, here is a quick accessory check. You would have your canvas, any size that's comfortable for you. You should have your palette, and inside your palette, you would have your basic color, your yellows, your blues, your whites, black, and red. So if you want to do that, you can do a material check real quick. Now I see you see I have an easel set up here. If you don't have an easel, that's fine. You can just lay your canvas on the table flat, and then you can paint. You can also choose to use a pencil, and you can also choose to use either a palette knife, or you can mix your paints with a brush if you don't have a palette knife. Make sure you have your napkins for cleaning up, and make sure you have 1 cup of water if 2 is necessary. And before you start, make sure everything on your table, you have something to cover your tables, because painting can get a bit messy. So once you have everything secured and all your materials are together, we can begin. So now you know the topic for moth. Mothing, when you think about moth, you think about a butterfly. And the stages of a butterfly is the butterfly's cocoon. And then you will have the caterpillar stage. And then you will have finally the butterfly stage. So we're going to recreate those images on this here canvas, or your canvas. You'll be recreating this on the canvas. So now I'm starting out here. I'm starting out with a blank canvas. So now we're going to we're going to look at a canvas, and then we're going to use our basic paints. Now I know that you won't be able to have all the colors, available. So here is going to be a little bit of mixing happening if you don't have the colors available. We're going to start at a Shuttle Background, and what you're going to do is, if you do have these colors, and it doesn't necessarily have to be these exact colors, you can choose the other colors you want. You would start off with probably a dark color. I'm going to start off with a blue. So what I'm going to do is, I have my dark blue. I have my dark blue here. I'm going to take it out with my palette knife, and like I said, if you don't have a palette knife, you can always use a brush. You're going to take that out here. I'm going to start with that. If you don't have dark blue, you can always mix black and some light blue if you have. What I need is a little bit more blue.
You think they could like a popsicle stick?
Yeah, they can use that. A popsicle stick would be pretty fine. So I know you know. So I'm just this out. Yeah, more blue. I'll get that out. So what we're gonna do is just take that out. Sorry about this, guys. Okay. So it's fine. You get the blue. And you're gonna take a flat brush. Now, if you don't know what a flat brush is, these are examples of a flat brush. It's flat brushes. And then we're gonna take a flat brush. That is basically, if your canvas is a bigger size, you would definitely need a bigger flat brush. But for this, because this is so small, I can just use this. And you're gonna dab that in. And then you're going to start off from the top, and you're gonna glaze that over from the beginning. Like I said, if your canvas is bigger than mine, you can use a larger brush. But we're just starting off. And guys, once you get to that top, make sure you won't be able to see through the canvas, because you don't want it to be too thin. So you can just go over that. But as quick as you can go from left to right, back and forth, left to right, left to right. And that's what I'm doing here. So it's kind of like we're basically creating a little sky. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure it's nice and thick, so you can go left to right, left to right, left to right. You don't have to hold the canvas like I'm doing. I'm just holding it just because of the wind. So you can go left to right, left to right. You think you still see through? you can still see the canvas with the pink. You can just add a little bit more blue or pink or whichever color you want to make your sky. It depends on what you want to do. I'm using the regular blue. So now that we got that blue out, I'm gonna add a little bit more. We can go ahead and we can possibly make some lighten up the blue a little bit. So what we're gonna do is I have a lighter blue, but if you do not have a light blue straight out the tube, you can always mix white and blue. But since I already have my blue here set in on my plate, my palette, I'm just gonna go ahead and use just a little bit of that, keeping that dark blue on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in. So what you're gonna have is a nice blend because we're actually going from dark to light. So make sure your brush strokes are fast because we're using acrylic paint and we don't want it to dry up, because once it dries up, the blending part will be a little bit difficult. So just keep with our blues. Once you mix your light blue, keep it our blues. And then you'll be creating that sky. A little bit more blue. So as you can see, as I go down, it gets lighter. So you're basically left to right, left to right, to right, left to right. Okay, so a little bit more of that light blue. Once we reach a certain part, you can look at it as in halfway, your canvas, or a little bit, just a little lower. We can now get some white. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of white, and then you're going to now go ahead and blend. See, what's gonna happen is the blue gets a little bit lighter, and those blues left on your paintbrush, you're gonna still have that. So that's gonna help a lot. So it's gonna make this beautiful, just this basic sky, light sky blend. So we're gonna just go down straight to the bottom. You're gonna keep on adding white. So like I said, basically it is from dark to light. So we just keep going down. As you can see, there's no problem if I get a little bit of dark blue, because once I add that white to it, it's going to be fine. So just as quickly as you can, left to right, remember left to right. If you place your canvas horizontal, you can also do this. So it doesn't have to be vertically. So from left to right, guys. And we're almost done. We are almost done. Remember, you don't want to see too much through the canvas. You can always go back with a little bit of white to catch up any spots that you actually can see through the canvas. And we are done. So this is what you call a base. I call it a base, or some may say a background. So this is our background for what we're going to create. And while this is drying, just give it some time to dry. Just a bit. Acrylic takes like almost no time to dry. We're going to rest our brush in our cup of water, just in case we need it later. Remember to rest it in a cup of water, not on the table. You don't want your brush to harden. Now here's the step, another step. Because we're using images, you can either, I guess, if you have an image of a butterfly, you would want to search up on your cell phone or your phone or whatever device you're using, or you can just from your imagination, if that's possible, if you can do that. So I'm just going to use it to create these images from my imagination. Now, so we're going to give it some time to dry. Once your canvas is dry, you can go ahead and you're going to sketch in with either a brush or a pencil, whichever one is comfortable for you. But since I'm going to go in with this whilst it's kind of semi-dry, I'm just going to use a brush. But if yours dries in time and you want to go to that second step, you can use a pencil. That wouldn't be any problem. So what we're going to start off, we're going to do a little branch. a little tree branch, something pretty, something creative. So you know, trees are basically, we think about it as green. And as you can see on my palette, I don't have green. So what I'm going to do is create green. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create dark green. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a palette knife, popsicle stick, or a brush, and we're gonna take a little bit of yellow. It doesn't matter what kind of yellow you have. Whatever yellow you have, you can use. I'm gonna take a little bit of this yellow here, just a tad bit, and then I'm going to take some blue. And we're mixing our green. So now we know that blue and yellow is green. Now, because I want it just a tad bit dark, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of black to this green. I'm going to take some of that and add. Now I notice, you notice I'm mixing these pinks, the pinks on the palette, but you don't have to do that. Just in case you would want some space, you can get an extra plate, paper plate or whatever you have, and you can just mix these colors on a separate plate and just have these colors set up on the palette plate. So what I'm going to do is I've already added my black. I'm just going to add a tad bit, and it's drying as I speak. And now I'm going to get it. And another thing is make sure you mix enough paint. I may have to mix some more so you won't have to keep on mixing. And I'm going to take a flat brush, small flat brush, and I'm going to draw in my branch or stem, however you want to call it. You're going to draw a branch. And because my canvas is going vertically, I'm going to do a branch coming from the bottom straight up. So my canvas is set up vertically. If your canvas is set up horizontally, you can go straight across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now sketch in my leaf. Well, we know how a branch is. A branch is like a stick, just a normal stick. You can start off with a stick. So this is what we're doing. So picture it as you're drawing a stick. And what you can do is, some branches, they have the little fronds, or they stem off and they have leaves. So what you want to do is you're going to go straight up. And you don't have to go straight to the top. You can just stop somewhere. So I'm going to put a little curve in it. Make it a bit interesting. Okay. Okay, so guys, I'm just filling in that green. Make sure it's not transparent. Want to make sure I get a solid green stem or branch, however you want to call it. So we're going to get that in there. And remember, this is just the basic dark green. Now that we have that in, let's put in some leaves. Maybe that could be fun. A leaf is kind of like I don't know, that shape. Put in a leaf there. Put one here. So all this is in our dark green. Because once you use that dark green, the dark green is basically like a mix. now we are going to have a little leaf coming up here. That should be interesting. Right. So guys, if you don't want to go in and use a brush like I did, and you're more comfortable with using a pencil, you can use a pencil first, and then you can go ahead and you can use a paintbrush. You know, so whichever is more comfortable for you, you can do it. But when I'm painting, I switch up. Sometimes I would use a brush, and sometimes I use a pen. Okay, once we got that in, what you're gonna do is I'm gonna put my brush in a water, wash it, because I want to clean the brush off. I want to get some of that light green when I mixed previously. Now that we clean our brush off with our napkin, just wipe it off. You can go and you can use the lighter green. Now, so this is where we talk about light. So wherever the sun hits, if the sun is hitting left, you want to make your branch seem like the sun is hitting it. So my sun will be coming from my left. So what I'll do is I will then go ahead and I will put my light green. Remember not to lose the dark green because our sun is a tad bit. If you want to wait until your branch is fully dried, then you can also do that. So what I'm hinting is my sun is coming from the left hand side. So wherever the sun is hitting on the left, there would be light. So hence this is where our light green is coming from. So if you want to practice branches and painting branches, this is like a technique with painters use. It's all about the light, where the light is. Okay, so remember not to lose the dark green. Okay, so now we're going to do one more. So if you notice, I still have that, I still have that nice dark green showing. So you still can see just a tad bit of dark green. And I'm going to go put some lighting on the leaves. Something simple, nothing too realistic. Just want to show where the light hits. That's it. Okay. Now we're going to wash our brush off again. Now we're going to do one more thing before we get straight to our butterfly, and we're going to add some yellow in that green. Again, the more you are lighter, the green becomes. Okay? So we're going to do a really light green. And then we're going to hit that one more time. So in future references, add some, instead of using white, add a little bit of yellow to your green. It helps a lot. And then you can move on to put white. So once I've added that yellow, okay. You can put that in on those leaves as well. So now, you've done that. Put those lights on that green leaf. You can now, and if you want to, an option is if you want to make it a bit lighter, you can add white. Just a little bit of white. You don't need much. White is just pretty strong. White is a tint. Remember, white is a tint. You don't really consider that color. But you can add some white to it. tad bit. And you just to lighten it a bit, give it some of that. All right. Okay. And there we go. So if you want to add some white, you can do so. And you can see where that sun is hitting from your branch. Now that we've done that, we can put our brush back in our cup. And if you want to use the exact same brush to draw your butterfly, your caterpillar, your cocoon, you can do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a smaller flat brush, whatever you're comfortable with. And if you don't want to draw a brush, like I said, with the branch, you can use a pencil. So now our cocoon is what shape? Now, if you want to go and look up your cocoon shape or how a cocoon looks, you can do that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use some, what am I going to use? I'm going to use some black paint. You don't have to use black. You can use any color to draw out. Or like I said, you can use your pencil. So let's make it interesting. Maybe we should do it hanging down from maybe a leaf. Okay, a leaf. And then like a corn, it has this not round shape, it's almost like a pyramid. Pyramid shape, kind of. And it always has an interesting shape. It isn't a particular shape that it has, but if you do look it up and you search how it looks, it's gonna kind of look similar to this here. But it does come in certain sizes, shapes, but this is basically, I think, how it would look, if I'm guessing correctly. Okay, so here's our little cocoon. We have some pretty lines. And if you notice sometimes, a butterfly cocoon, it kind of reveals the pattern of a butterfly. I don't know if anybody ever noticed that, but sometimes when you look at the cocoon closely, it has the patterns, and you see the patterns of the butterfly. Just a tad bit, just a little bit. So if you do your research, sometimes you will see what the butterfly's pattern would look like in some cases. So if you're using a paintbrush, make sure it's small and make sure the lines are a bit thinner if you can. And I'm using some broad lines, but let's make sure the lines are thin if you're using a brush. So now that I have drawn on, so that's a cocoon, we're gonna add some color. And like I said, if you're drawing or from your imagination, you know, that's kind of like the rules. The rules apply in your head. So there's no particular color that you have to use. I'm just going to use what I have here. And I have some blues, I have some red, I have yellow, I have black. So I'm going to just take advantage of what I have. And I think I'm going to start off with maybe red. Let's start off with red. So I'm just going to dab a little bit to the top. And anything goes. Dab that in. You know the lines a bit, because remember, these are just to draw the lines. You don't have to have any color on the line. There you go. Now, if you want to make it more interesting, you can have everything red and then just add in some colors. So let's do it step by step. Let's make the top, middle red. And what we're gonna do is let's add a little bit of white. Just to give it some highlights. And remember, the light is hitting from the left side. So you this rule applies. This little rule still applies. This rule applies to just a bit to make it make sense. You know, so that sunlight on the cone is hitting from the left hand side. And if you feel as though the white is overpowering the red, you can just add that in. And like I said, you don't have to use, you can use yellow and basically the same thing. No. We're gonna go with some white again. I'm gonna put the lighting in different areas. Because we're basically just doing it for home. Go back with that red. And then let's yellow. Yeah. Okay. You can use some yellow in that. Try with your colors and see how it works out. You know, it wouldn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to play with colors. It's all about having fun with what you're doing. Maybe we can get some blues in. Dark blue, light blue, whichever your choice. Get that right now. So we want to create that something fun and pretty. Okay, yeah. Brush gets a little bit too crazy with color, you can always wash it off again and keep wiping. And then we can go back with some red. So as you can see, my color consists of red, yellow, blue. So it's all about, like I said, taking advantage of your palette, the colors on your palette. I'm gonna go back in with some yellow. I found it. Switch it up with some yellow. So now we have this colorful tone. And guys, later on, if you want to go back in and you want to add some details, you can do that as well. That's always fun. Put in some pretty decorative lines. And white. Only thing I want to be take note of is to make sure do not get out of your line of your drawing so it doesn't get messy or loses its shape. You want to take note of that. So right now I'm just blending colors, basically. Blending colors and making my own color. Like I said, guys, you can go back and you can always clean up your lines. Oh, go back to make sure you still have your shape because you don't want to lose your shape. So and if you're using a pencil, remember that the paint should cover your pencil lines. You don't want to see the pencil lines. So if you see your pencil lines, that means you're not using enough paint. So yeah, have fun with it. So I have this rainbow colorful. Like I said, guys, you can always go back and clean it up, have fun with it. Pretty relaxing, I think. Ah, there we go. Have some white. Some white in it. Have a bit of white. That's a bit. I know sometimes we get excited with that white, so just small amount. And there, that's a pretty cocoon. I think so. Hope y'all's team will go. So now, our next step is the caterpillar. You guys know how a caterpillar looks like. You know, they crawl, they have these beautiful lines running through them. They crawl, they have those little tiny legs. Yeah, you know. So what I'm gonna do is take my black again, and I'm going to, where am I going to put my caterpillar? It cannot hang from ground. So we know that we're gonna put it here. Doesn't have to be a giant caterpillar. You know, they're pretty small. And they do this curvaceous thing. Oops. One second. Okay. So they curve. I think I might make that a bit thicker. Go up and do that. Right. So if you're not comfortable with your brush, you can definitely use a pencil. And any light pencil, H pencil, 2H pencil, whatever you're comfortable with, you can go ahead. So we're gonna go with kind of look like these little kind of happening. So that's basically our and you know they have the little legs happening. Pretty cool. Now we can do the signs right here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, guys, remember to clean off your brush, especially if you're using black, because black is the cheapest colors. So you want to make sure your brush is nice and clean. If you have to change your water, you can do that. And then we can start off with our red. Remember when I told you that sometimes the butterfly the cocoon shows you exactly, gives you a hint of the color the butterfly may be or the pattern it has. So I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna use my reds, my yellows, and my blues once again, like just how I did the cocoon. And then we're gonna go with the bottom. We're kind of going with the light hitting the top of the caterpillar. So go ahead and have some fun and color in your pattern. I'm just doing it anywhere. I feel like cool. I'm staying in my lines just a bit, but I'm definitely keeping it in the back. Now we're gonna go back to our yellows. I'm gonna go and use some yellow. Remember, guys, you don't have to use the exact colors that I use. I'm just using the colors that I have. available for me. So if you have purple and you have all those pretty colors and those variety of colors, use them. Make it colorful because butterflies are known to be colorful and have beautiful color schemes and all that. So here we are. Our butterflies. This is yellow. There you go. Now we're going to use some white. Remember, not too much white again. Just enough to show where the light hits. So this is what we're doing. Curling in. Remember, guys, not to lose the shape of the caterpillar. But then you have to go and reshape it all over again. That could be fun as well. Honestly, painting is fun. Okay, so let's see some blues. So the more you play around with the colors, the more colors and the more you blend it, and you're gonna see a lot of interesting things happen. That's the thing about using things. You never know. So we're gonna take some of that yellow. It's hard to get something a bit messy. That's what happens. So just take advantage of what you have. So if you want to get right under the line where you drew, you want to just take your time. And if you feel as though you need to add in some like more dark red, you can do that as well. And we're basically almost done. Yeah, so just play with it, and you never know what you have. I'm sure if you practice this on your own time, you take your time, you're gonna come up with all kind of interesting things. Believe me, I love painting butterflies. Pretty fun. So if you want to just get back to just using just basic glue, remember to clean your brush off a bit. And I guess I'm going to put in some yellow. Add in some yellow. And like I said, guys, if you want to go back and you want to clean it up and, you know, I don't know if you want to add in black lines or something like that, you can do that as well. You know, always go back to painting as many times as you want until you're satisfied with it. That's the best thing about painting. You can always go back and keep on at it. That I did not use is glue. Use something. Yeah. Blue and white. Get a little bit of blue in there. You did have a hint of blue inside at the phone, so you want to keep that. Remember to keep that happening. Okay, guys. I think that's all good. Here's a caterpillar. Now we're gonna go to the fun part, the butterfly, which is the last stage. Now, where are we gonna put our butterfly? If your painting is set up like mine, you can either do it on the right hand side or the left hand side, whichever one. I see I have a lot of space on the right hand side, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on the right hand side. Now with a butterfly, you know what a butterfly. It doesn't necessarily have to be on a branch, like you see our other cocoon in our caterpillar. So let's just say our butterfly is flying. So now you can either do the wings open, spread open, or we can do a side view of the butterfly, whichever one is pretty fun. So I'm just gonna do a side view. So here you can see our butterfly. It's a little bit bigger. Now, okay, so once you're done drawing out your butterfly with either your pencil or your paintbrush, you can go at it and begin. So like I said, I'm just going to stick with the colors I have, and it's definitely going to be similar to what you see here. And with your butterfly pad, you can play with it a little bit. I'm going to put in some lines, maybe some circles. Yeah, so that they have a lot of beautiful patterns. So I'm just going to put in some lines for my butterfly. You can go crazy, whatever you choose to do. Zigzags, circles, curves, you know. I'm trying to mimic that curvy pattern I started. So that's probably going to be to the top. And I'm using black paint. And as you can see, I have the front part, which is the front wing, and you see just a little bit of the back wing. Yeah. Don't mind if it comes over the leaf like you see it. Once you paint over it, you won't be able to see through. So if you want your butterfly wings to be spread over and you want it to be a frontal view, you can do that. This is just a side. Now that I'm done with that, I'm clean off my brush. Again, wipe it off a napkin, and now I'm going to have a little fun in painting some painting my patterns. So what I'm going to do is put some red here. I'm just going to just choose where I would want my reds to be. And then I will switch up. What I'm doing different here is I'm actually keeping the black line. So I'm just coloring in the line. So I want to keep that black line. I want to keep that black line. And I'm just painting it. So my back wing, I can have a little bit of red. And now I'm going to use some yellow. What you can do is keep a blue, because you see the sky blue. You can actually take advantage of that if you want to. Where else would I want yellow? I want yellow to be here. Like I said, guys, you want to go back and you want to perfect your whatever your definition perfectionist. You want to perfect your butterfly and clean it up a bit and make it extra pretty. You can do that as well. But for now on, we're just going. Okay, so let's add in a bit of light blue. Make it interesting. I'm gonna have to go back. Light blue here and now. Nothing too crazy. Gonna put some light blue here. Okay, pretty cool. We're gonna use some white and red. Like I said, if you have other colors, I have this neon pink here. You might even use something similar that you haven't touched and you add it. No biggie. You know, it's all about having fun with what you create. I'll get rid of a bit of highlights on those reds. Okay. And if you want to go back later on and just make this whole thing black, the butterfly says you can do that, but just make the wings as colorful and pretty as possible. Okay. Like I said, you can always color in that blue, or you can keep that dark blue. I'm going to add a bit of dark blue to it. Going to add some yellow. Yellows here and there. Maybe some reds back up here as well. White and yellow. Because we're almost done. Make a pattern, have fun with it. And we're almost done. So we're going to use our black. We're going to go in here. And where I lost that shape at the top, we're going to go back in with a black line. Go back in there, that black. Okay, guys. Almost done. Just gonna do some red. And there we have it. Here's a butterfly, guys. Here we go. So like I said, guys, you can always go back in and you can perfect it however you want to. You can spend some more time, or you can just start all over again and you can go through the process. Use whatever colors you like. It depends on what you like, and just have fun with it. You know, painting is all about fun, and this is fun. It's kind of therapy. It's like therapy. So, yeah, guys, there you have it. Your butterfly, cocoon, your caterpillar, and your butterfly. And this is actually fun, believe it or not. Just sitting outside and doing all that good stuff. And I hope you had fun with me. And I thank you guys for joining with me in this session. And I hope you have a great day. Have a great art day.